Right, we're ready to go. Okay, so today's going to be an introduction to perfect competition. If you look at the learning outcome, it says describe using examples the assumed characteristics of perfect competition. So what is it that makes a market a perfectly competitive market? What needs to happen? What needs to be in place? And the key areas are a large number of firms, homogeneous product, freedom of entry and exit, perfect information, and perfect resource mobility. Now, normally we would go through the answers to the practice paper, but if you just want to upload to those to the Google Doc, you can. I will try and share the mark scheme for that with you as well, so you can have a look through for yourself. For the lesson then, one of the first things we looked at is that we looked at firms as organizations that take inputs, factors of production, they put them through a process, and therefore they produce outputs which they sell. That is product. We've looked at the costs and the revenues over the last few lessons, and now we're going to focus on the market. So a group of one or more firms producing similar or identical products is known as an industry. And that might sound a little bit different, a little bit odd, a group of one, but obviously that is going to be a monopoly. So where you've got any number of firms selling similar or identical products, therefore we have an industry. The example there is the mobile phone manufacturing industry. It's going to be made up of which firms? Which firms have we got in the mobile phone manufacturing industry? Which firms would you say? I'm not sure I would agree with you completely. What might we call Apple? That's right. Apple's more of a, well, Apple's a designer. It's on the retail end because it sells them, but obviously it's also on the design end. The manufacturing bit, the bit in the middle for Apple, is mostly done by who? Yeah, Foxconn, other kind of Foxconn obviously gets components from other businesses as well. So in terms of mobile phone manufacturing, we've got a lot of businesses, a lot of them based in and around China, that manufacture mobile phones. If we just talked about the mobile phone industry, then yes, we would be talking about Apple and Samsung and Huawei and all those sorts of all those sorts of businesses. Soft drinks, obviously, Coca-Cola and PepsiCo are the biggest internationally, are the biggest soft drink industries, biggest soft drink businesses. Then you get lots of smaller local businesses as well, and together they would make the industries. So lots of different industries. Every industry has its own very specific characteristics, but obviously we can try and group them together. And as always with economics, we try to use models. The four key market structures that you need to know about are perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Now, perfect competition and monopoly are two extremes in lots of different ways. Perfect competition, lots and lots and lots of firms, monopoly, one firm, for example. So we will look at perfect competition first, then we will look at monopoly as our two extremes, and then monopolistic competition and oligopoly in between the two. We're going to begin today with perfect competition. So what are the key characteristics of perfect competition? The first one is that there are a large number of firms. And when we say large, we're probably talking hundreds, thousands of them within a market. Each firm is small relative to the size of the total market, and therefore it doesn't have any influence over the market. So we're not saying there's 1,000 firms and one of them has 50% of the market share. So there's one big firm and lots of little firms. There are lots of firms and they are all small. So there are lots of small firms. Each firm's market share is going to be very, very small, probably less than 1%. Therefore, the actions of any one firm doesn't really impact on the actions of any of the others, because every firm is so small, so insignificant in terms of the total size of the market, that whatever it does makes no difference. The second characteristic is that products are homogeneous or identical. It is not possible to distinguish between them. So every firm is producing exactly the same product, completely identical. Third characteristic, free entry and exit. So any firm is able to enter the market. Any firm already in the market can leave the market. There are no barriers to entry or exit. There are no costs associated with entering or exiting the market. So anyone can do that. Fourth characteristic is perfect information. All the producers, all the consumers have access to all the information, whether that's about products, prices, resources, methods, techniques, as far as production process is concerned. Everyone knows everything. So all consumers know the prices of individual firms. Therefore, it's not possible for one firm to charge a different price to other firms and consumers not know about it. And then as the products are identical, then they're all going to end up with the same price. Okay, so all producers are able to operate at the lowest possible cost because they all have the same resources, methods, techniques available to them, so they all are able to produce at the lowest possible cost. And finally, there is perfect resource mobility. So all resources, all the factors of production are completely mobile. They can be moved in and out of the industry, they can be moved between firms, and there is, again, no cost associated with it. Now, if you look at all of those things, what are the chances of that actually existing in reality? And the simple answer to that is there is no chance. There is no such thing as completely perfect competition. It's one of those theoretical models we use by which we can judge real world businesses. Okay, so we have some examples of industries which are quite close to it, and therefore they might meet some of the criteria, but not all of them. Examples include agricultural commodities, other commodities. When we're talking about commodities, we're talking about things that are identical. So oil is a commodity. Wherever you get your oil from in the world, it's oil. You can't really charge a different price for it. So I'm not meaning petrol here. Petrol is a little bit different because firms change things and supposedly add things to it. But in terms of just digging the oil out of the ground, crude oil, then that is crude oil. Other commodities, rice. You know, if you go to Vietnam, you'll have thousands and thousands and thousands of producers producing the same rice. It is identical. And foreign exchange market. If you want to change your Hong Kong dollars to Australian dollars, doesn't matter where you go to, you're going to get the same product. You're going to get Australian dollars. One Australian $10 note is the same as any other Australian $10 note. Okay, so there are industries that have some of the characteristics of perfect competition, not all of them. Okay, but as I said, we use it as almost a benchmark by which we can judge other businesses, other types of industries. Okay, so before I ask you any questions, I'm just going to go through the task and then I'm going to stop the recording. So the task is to choose one of those three examples: agricultural commodities, other commodities, foreign exchange market, and explain to what extent you feel this market meets the characteristics of perfect competition. Obviously, you would only do that, you'd only look at that after you've made your own notes on what are the characteristics of perfect competition, then a little bit of research about it yourself, and then saying to what degree does your example meet those characteristics. So it's looking at each of the characteristics in turn and trying to find some evidence as to whether it meets that criteria or not, or partly meets that criteria. Okay, I'm just going to stop the recording now.